So, shall I start, sir?
Anji sir.
Okay. Good evening to you all. Myself, Dr. Himanshu Sharma, welcomes you from the side of Team Physio Inculcator in our today's webinar, Basics of Plyometrics. This webinar would be taken by our today's resource person, Dr. Himanshu Tiwari sir. He is a senior sports physiotherapist, sports coach and physiotherapist, and he has been presented in the various national as well as international conferences on the various different topics of the sports physiotherapy. So I would like to welcome you, sir, in our today's webinar session. We would like to say thanks to you that you have spared your time and to share the precious knowledge among the participants present here, sir. So welcome you, sir, that you have spared the time and you agreed to share the knowledge with us. Himanshu, sir.
Thank you, sir. I really thank you from core of my heart, and I really thank the platform Inculcator, especially आपको Dr. Himanshu Sharma sir and Dr. Rajdeep sir. So I'm highly grateful, and I also welcome all the listeners and participants, and thank you for sparing out the time from your valuable schedule. And the reason why we have kept it at such a late hour is because we want everybody to get the benefit out of it. And also, sir, I would request Sharma sir, आप अपने आप को भी sir host बना लीजिए, because I'm getting a lot of requests for admission.
Okay, sir. I am
So
trying,
I
but
guess if
I think
you,
there's some network trouble. So don't worry, you go ahead. I am trying as I'll become the host. Yes, I am the host now. Don't worry.
thank you.
Okay, sir.
All right. So by the bench's permission, I would like to start with our session for today. And as you all know that the first session, the topic of the session is plyometrics. So plyometrics is one of the amazing pattern, one of the amazing training scheme which helps us to achieve our target in easiest and best possible way. In plyometrics, we require bare minimum, least props, least equipments. We don't need much of machines and all. We need just a mild props, which can be either a box, a TheraBand, medicine ball, or a slam ball, and we are able to manage with our routine as per our goal. So plyometrics is one of the best formats I've ever seen and I've ever experienced in practice. So as we proceed further, plyometrics word comes from a specific term, and when we say plyometrics, before moving forward, we have to thank the person, the doctor who has actually created this kind of format, this pattern. That was Dr. Yuri Borowski. Pardon me if my pronunciation is not good, not proper. But Dr. Yuri was a doctor in Soviet Union. Earlier, it was called as Soviet Union. And in 1970s, he actually created the pattern called plyometrics. And doctors at that era were basically not very pleased by this kind of format, and because in plyometrics, the pattern, the scheme, the regime, the routine, it carried pretty impulsive, intensive movements and transitions. So the doctors at that time, they used to say, they used to term this kind of a pattern as a shock method procedure or a pattern, and so quick that it used to, do all sorts of transitions and movements in very short span of time. So they used to call it as shock method, and people were not not pretty comfortable and obvious to use these kind of patterns. But after 5 years, in 1975, uh, Dr. Welt was one of the panelists with one of the teams in the matches. We saw an amazing shift in the Soviet Union athletes, and when he came to know that these athletes are actually using plyometrics to increase their potential, he came back to US and coined the term plyometrics and as one of the most important regime, the part of their training pattern, and he started with the training method. So from 1975, the plyometrics actually came into scenario, and we started using the formats. And definitely, yes, it has tweaked in a lot. It has created various new varieties and variations. But the father of plyometrics, Dr. Yuri, actually created, and we should thank him to give us such an opportunity to help our athletes and players to scale up on a different level. So this was the history of plyometrics. Now, what exactly plyometrics means? From where have the term plyometrics have derived? So plyometrics has actually derived from a Greek term which was called as plyotheme. All right. So theme basically is a Greek word which means increase or augment. Anything which shows increase was termed as plyotheme in Greek language. Um, this was being derived by this term. And what exactly do we mean by plyometrics is it's a pattern, it's a scheme which actually creates a very short span of movement within our muscles, which gives us an outcome as in like power, as in like intensity, quickness, speed, etc. So these are a few of the things which we get as an outcome from our training pattern. So now let's come on to the term plyometrics. What exactly is plyometric training? Plyometric training consists of the pattern or movement which gives you a quick, explosive, and a designed scheme to increase your speed and power. The best part is that this scheme actually gives you the liberty to scale up to a level wherein you do not require any kind of machines or external schemes. Can you see the next screen? Yeah, okay. So this is what plyometrics means. Plyometric training consists of quick, explosive movement designed to increase speed and power. So why we say design? We actually create a scheme out of our desired sport or out of our desired activity, and it can be modulated, manipulated. Reason why I say it has been designed. All right. So increase speed, and when we say that we increase power, this means that we are working on something extraordinary. Earlier, people used to have a misconception that speed and power is something which a body, uh, is created with. But after the plyometrics, after the schemes and different patterns of trainings, we have discovered that this is something which definitely God gift is there, but we can definitely increase and create such a potential in an athlete as well, right? So how can we achieve this? This can be achieved through performing multiple exercises that focus on training our bodies and brains to activate more muscle fibers more quickly in order to increase the efficiency and speed of our muscle contraction. So what exactly this means? This sentence is a very big sentence and it carries the entire science of plyometrics. So let me just unveil the science that plyometrics is just a scheme, a pattern wherein we use two specific ways, two specific qualities of a muscle, and we create a couple effect of that qualities, and we get the desired result out of that drill or out of that training pattern. So, okay. Am I audible now?
Yes, sir. Sound is
Am I
audible, sir.
audible now? Okay.
Yes, sir. Audible,
Perfect.
audible.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. So,
I think, but
when
slide
I
is
say that,
are we on the first slide? What is plyometric training?
yes. We are still on the same slide, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So, so our muscle fibers, they comprise of couple of qualities, and the most beautiful quality is eccentric and concentric. I'll explain you what exactly eccentric and concentric means, right? But before I proceed with this, I'd like to tell you that these two qualities are used by us during the design of the plyometric activity, and this actually gives us an amazing result. There are many benefits of it. I'll be explaining the benefits further. So the plyometrics actually give us the liberty to create a training pattern for our body and brain. So we are basically creating and opening and reopening some neural pathways or neural programming which helps us to manage with our body balance, body potential, speed, power, explosiveness, and it also helps us to bring down the intensity of our injuries. Yes, this is one of the beautiful ways which I personally use in almost all my training programs. And I can assure you that using these patterns, we are able to bring down the injury intensities to somewhat 50%. And I'll explain you how exactly it goes. So, what right now is the activation of muscle and the speed during which the muscle is being lengthened and contracted. All right. So there are phases. There are ways. I'll be telling you, but the lengthening and the contraction actually decides how the control and the effect of a training pattern will be shown. Let me take a quick example of how we can understand this. um, we have plenty of times experience that while walking we all of a sudden get a jerk or a tumble because of bad foot landing or a stone which was there on the road or on the walking path. Okay, पैर पड़ता है और हम all of a sudden we lose balance, right? And something happens all of a sudden magically, that the moment we slip or we lose our balance, immediately we regain our balance and we are walking straight. All right. So this happens, and I guess I'm pretty sure that everybody has experienced this. If you've experienced the same thing, I want you to type yes in the chat box. I want you to type yes in the chat box. We walk, all of a sudden we get a stone or something which helps us, which actually forces us to get off balance, and all of a sudden something magical happens. Yes, see, I can see amazing, great. I can see plenty of yeses. So yes, everybody faces this, right? So this is what is being created by a plyometric pattern of training. Okay, so what we are doing is all of a sudden there's an lengthening or there's an elongation of that particular part, tendon or capsule, right? And the moment the brain gets a message that there's a sudden elongation which is beyond our reach, beyond our extent, and all of a sudden the impulses, they rush down to that area and create a sudden contraction. Okay, lengthening has happened because of the off balance, wrong foot placement, and the immediate contraction actually helps us to regain our balance, and we are able to stabilize ourselves, and then we are walking again normally, and then we say, oh, bach gaye. Right? So this is what the response we all look forward to. This has been created by plyometrics. Now imagine if we are using this kind of program with our athletes, with our teams, with our professional players, what kind of achievement, what kind of level we would be able to achieve in terms of injury, pre-injury rehab, or the injury management, or speed, recovery patterns, um, uh, your jumps, your explosive movements, right? That will be amazing. It's magical, guys. Trust me. So this is what plyometrics is all about, and I hope we are able to understand what exactly the plyometrics is. The term plyometrics comes out. Okay, so when we are actually looking forward to plyometrics, what we are focusing towards is muscle power, explosiveness through exercises, right? And we actually design these to create a strength and conditioning pattern which helps us to achieve a next level control in our agility, explosive, and muscle balance, right? So this is what we focus on, right? The routine actually helps us to do. So let's proceed further. The next statement says the eccentric and concentric coupling is referred to as the SSC, and together it produces a more powerful contraction than that which would result to a purely contraction alone, action alone. So, what exactly SSC is? Can anybody guess, or can anybody give it a try? What exactly SSC we mean by? Type it in the chat box, guys, if you have any kind of idea what SSC is. Why I'm actually emphasizing more on SSC is plyometrics is designed by SSC. Amazing, perfect. Stretch shortening cycle, yes. So stretch shortening cycle is the scheme, it's the approach, it's the phenomena which we use to create a plyometric training. Okay, so there are two types of patterns. One is short uh, short stretching cycle, and one is long SSC, right? So short SSC and long SSC. Depending on our sport, depending on our goal, depending on our desired result which we are looking forward to, we plan the scheme according to that, right? So when we are talking about SSCs, is there something which we are focusing on to? Like, we are working on shortening, we are working on lengthening, we are working on contractions, elongations. Is there something we are looking forward to? Yes, we are looking forward to two things. Okay, there are two types of muscle fibers which we possess, we carry in our body, right? One is type 1 and one, the other is type 2. All right, so type 1 is the slow twitching muscle fiber, and type 2 is the fast twitching muscle fiber, right? Awesome, awesome, perfect, Yogesh, you're absolutely right. So fast twitching muscle fiber is the type 2 one, right? And when we actually look forward for the plyometric training, okay, fast twitching muscle fiber is our friend. This is what we look forward to: stretch reflexes, passive reflexes. Okay, these are something which we use, but they are being created during the protocol, right? So these are the outcomes which we get, the reflexes and all. But when we talk about fast twitch fiber, slow twitch fiber, we work on these fibers to get our desired outcome. And fast twitch fiber, type 2 fiber, is one of our friend which helps us to achieve the goal, which helps us to achieve the target which we are looking forward to. Okay, so what exactly happens? What do we look forward to? Why are we looking forward to different types of fibers? Any idea? Why are we looking forward to different types of fibers? I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Okay, guys, I request you not to play with the toggle tools. We are getting lines on the screens, so I request everybody to please do this thing. Okay, so fast twitch muscle fibers, but when we look forward to fast twitch muscle fibers, we look forward to a stronger fast twitching muscle fibers. In turn, what we look forward to a faster and a stronger contraction. Okay, and when we look forward to a faster and a stronger contraction, we are looking forward to an increased power. Okay, increased power. When we say about increased power, we are looking forward to a perfect plyometric regime. Okay, so this is what our muscle fibers actually help us achieve too. Okay. Now, as we've mentioned, there are two types of muscle fiber. Let me give you a brief bifurcation or a brief classification between these muscle fibers. When we say type 1, slow twitch muscle fiber, yes. When we say type 2, there are two qualities, two classifications or two categories in type 2. One is type 2A, which we call it as intermediate muscle fibers, and the other one is type 2X, right? Type 2X is the clear form, which we say is as fast twitching muscle fibers, and we work on that, right? So this is what we are looking forward to. Okay, fast twitching muscle fibers, and when we work on fast twitch muscle fibers, we work on the eccentric concentric coupling action, and that coupling action actually helps us to create the desired result. Now, uh, okay, now what we know what exactly plyometric training is. Okay, now how exactly the plyometric training works? So plyometric training works with the help of three phases. Okay, so the three phases help us move further, judge our training pattern further, and help us to create and modulate and manipulate as per our sport, athlete, and the result which we are looking forward to. So what are these three phases? The three phases are, one is the, which we say it as eccentric phase, the rapid muscle lengthening. The second phase is the resting phase, which we refer as amortization. The third is explosive phase, which we say it as contraction or shortening phase. That is the concentric phase. If you remember in the last slide, we were talking about eccentric concentric coupling action. So this is what is we look forward to. And this is how the plyometric actually works on our muscles, works on our body and brain. All right. So brain, yes, brain, I'll be telling you how. So first of all, eccentric. When we are actually lengthening the muscle, or when the muscle gets lengthened due to any kind of activity or action, okay, there's a repulse or a reflex which goes to the higher neural center, and it gives an order or a reaction saying that there has to be a shortening immediately, because if the lengthening proceeds, we might reach to the limit where we get the injury. All right. So we have to work on the contraction at that time. So the brain gives you a quick impulse that immediately go and contract the muscle. So eccentric lengthening, contraction is concentric is contraction. Okay, and this action actually helps us to create the desired result. This is how plyometric activity is being performed. Now, what is amortization? Amortization is the resting phase or the transition phase from eccentric to concentric. Okay, the time gap or the time difference which is being used or consumed when we talk about eccentric to concentric. Eccentric से concentric में जब हम switch करते हैं, when there's a transition from one phase to the other, the time taken is amortization. All right, so that is now why we are talking about amortization. We could have just spoken about eccentric and then concentric, and then we could have proceeded further. But amortization is equally important as eccentric and concentric, because this really gives us an opportunity to manipulate the training pertaining to the sport. So, for an example, if I'm a gymnast, okay, my transition would be different from eccentric to concentric. If I am a boxer, my transition would be different. If I'm a football player, my transition from eccentric to concentric would be different. And this amortization time phase will actually help us to decide and when and what kind of control, balance, and explosive activity we need and we need to create. Okay. Now, what exactly are the benefits? So, benefits. Okay. benefits, yes. But when we talk about benefits, are we actually looking forward to something? Every training pattern gives us benefits. Every training pattern has pros. Every training pattern has cons, positives, negatives. हर training pattern के होते हैं. But is there something which we are looking forward to? Okay, so how we look forward to the benefits when we are actually using the amortization phase efficiently, we look forward to benefits. So when we talk about SSC, a short stretching cycle is of a very smaller time, which is documented as somewhat close to 180 milliseconds. Okay, so anything above 180 milliseconds is long, and anything below 180 milliseconds is SSC. Okay, now let me give you an example on how exactly we are looking forward to the classification or difference of the SSC pertaining to our benefits. Let's take an example. The example is drop jump. Okay, now drop jump. The moment when we drop off the box, okay, and we get contacted with the ground, okay, the time span which we take is way shorter than 180 milliseconds. But if we have to manipulate or modulate this kind of activity pertaining to the sport, we can create the amortization for a longer time span. Okay, saying that a box drop jump can be um, created in a variation or a variety, wherein the moment you come in contact with the floor, immediately either you are creating a horizontal or a vertical jump with both foot or a single leg foot. Okay, increasing the time span in the air stay, all right, or the distance which we need to cover, all right, and then we come down to a rest. So suppose if we are working on a basketball player, we need a longer duration of hold in the air or a longer duration of transition. So the moment we bend down, we are creating an eccentric effect, and the moment we jump, we are creating a concentric effect. So the time gap in the coupling, when we increase, it comes out as an example of a reducing the time to create a short SSC. Getting my point? Okay. So the benefit, the first point itself says strengthen fast twitch muscles in the muscle group. In order to increase your power, you need to increase and strengthen the muscle fiber that are responsible for converting speed and strength. Okay. Now, we have power, we have strength, and we need to convert it into speed. You know, we need to work on fast twitch muscle fibers, creating a coupling effect depending on the time of transition which we require. Unable to understand, if you are unable to get any point, type it in the chat box and I'll repeat with an example. Okay. Again, we are getting all the scribbles on the screen, so I request please not to do that. Okay. So we are strengthening the fast twitch muscle fibers in the muscle. When we are strengthening the fast twitch muscle fibers, okay, okay, all right. तो जब हम फास्ट ट्विच मसल फाइबर्स को स्ट्रेंथनिंग की बात करते हैं, तो हम क्या कर रहे हैं, हम एक मसल की स्ट्रेंथ को ट्रेन कर रहे हैं एक दूसरे कंपोनेंट को क्रिएट करने में, जो कि स्पीड हो सकता है, कंट्रोल हो सकता है, या फिर मसल बैलेंस हो सकता है. ओके, अब इस तरीके का वेरिएशन हम कैसे क्रिएट करते हैं? हम इसेंट्रिक और कॉन्सेंट्रिक के कपलिंग एक्शन के टाइम ड्यूरेशन यानी कि ट्रांजिशन के वक्त को मैनेज करने के साथ में कर सकते हैं. अमोर्टाइजेशन हम या तो बढ़ा रहे हैं या कम कर रहे हैं. एवरी टाइम व्हेन वी प्ले विद द अमोर्टाइजेशन और द ट्रांजिशन, वी आर एक्चुअली लुकिंग फॉरवर्ड टू डिफरेंट कंपोनेंट्स. ओके, तो जो हमारा फास्ट ट्विच मसल फाइबर है उसमें एक बर्स्ट एनर्जी क्रिएट होता है बहुत छोटे टाइम के लिए। ओके, क्योंकि मेटाबॉलिज्म में जब मतलब जब हम एक्टिविटी करते हैं तो हमारे मेटाबॉलिज्म में एटीपी सीपी जो है वो इंस्टेंट क्रिएट होता है और एक छोटे टाइम के लिए एक बर्स्ट एनर्जी क्रिएट करके देता है आपको। और उससे हम ये देखते हैं कि हमें स्पीड के ऊपर काम करना है, बैलेंस के ऊपर काम करना है, ताकि हम उस gush ऑफ एनर्जी को एफिशिएंटली यूटिलाइज और यूज कर सकें। ठीक है, अब ट्रेनिंग पैटर्न डिसाइड करता है कि हमें किस कंपोनेंट या किस बैटरी कंपोनेंट के ऊपर वर्क करना है, राइट। I hope now I was able to convey my message properly. Let's proceed to the next point. Increases the strength of tendon, which means fewer energy, fewer injuries. So when we talk about increasing strength of tendons, we mean we are able to manage the elasticity and stress on the tendon during any kind of abrupt or intensive movement. ओके, जब हमारे किसी भी एक हाई एक्टिविटी या हाई इंटेंसिटी मूवमेंट या एक एक्सप्लोसिव मूवमेंट जब होता है, उस दौरान हमारे टेंडन के ऊपर एक स्ट्रेस आता है। अगर हम उस स्ट्रेस को मैनेज कर पाते हैं, अगर हम उस स्ट्रेस को कंटेन कर पाते हैं, तो हमारी इंजरीज रिड्यूस हो जाती है। हमारी इलास्टिसिटी को हम मैनेज कर पाते हैं तो हमारी इंजरीज रिड्यूस हो जाती है। लेट मी टेक अ क्विक एग्जांपल। एक फुटबॉल मैच है, ठीक है, और क्रॉस उठता है एंड व्हेन द मोमेंट यू जंप, ओके, जब आप जंप कर रहे हैं, हमने इसेंट्रिक कॉन्सेंट्रिक का एक कपलिंग एक्शन क्रिएट किया, जंप किया, हमने हेडर लिया। हेडर लेने के बाद जब हम लैंड कर रहे हैं, देयर इज अ सडन सडन कांटेक्ट विद द ग्राउंड। तो अगर उस समय पर हमारा टेंडन का स्ट्रेंथनिंग हो रखी है, अगर हमारा टेंडन स्ट्रांग है, तो वो जो सडन कांटेक्ट है ग्राउंड के साथ, उस कांटेक्ट के जर्क को हम मैनेज कर पाएंगे एंड वी वुड बी एबल टू बैलेंस आवरसेल्व्स प्रॉपर्ली। ओके, या सपोज जब हम स्टेयर्स चढ़ते हैं, ठीक है, ऑल ऑफ अ सडन कई बार आपने एक्सपीरियंस किया होगा, स्टेयर्स चढ़ते चढ़ते एक एकदम से एक जर्क आता है पैर पे, और आप उस जर्क को कई बार सस्टेन कर जाते हो, कई बार आप गिर जाते हो। तो जब आप सस्टेन कर जाते हो, इसका मतलब उस वक्त आपका टेंडन जो है काफी स्ट्रॉन्ग है और आपने उस टेंसिलिटी को, उस इलास्टिसिटी को कंट्रोल किया हुआ है। ओके, और जब आप गिर जाते हो, इसका मतलब यह है कि आपका बैलेंस ऑफ हो गया था, जिसका मतलब कि आप इलास्टिसिटी को मैनेज नहीं कर पाए, राइट। तो प्लायोमेट्रिक से हम उस इलास्टिसिटी को, उस टेंसिलिटी को भी कंट्रोल कर पाते हैं। वी आर एबल टू reduce the extent and the intensity of the injuries as well. The next benefit is it boosts the efficiency of neuromuscular system. Now, this is a very important point. Why? Because the entire game is being managed and played by our higher center. जब भी किसी चीज का elongation होता है, अगर उसी टाइम पर उसको बैलेंस करने के लिए contraction मैसेज नहीं फॉरवर्ड हुआ या उसी टाइम पर वो एक बैलेंस ना क्रिएट किया गया, तो इंजरीज होने के चांसेस 110% होते हैं। आप खुद इमेजिन करिए, you take a rubber band and start stretching, okay, after a period of time स्ट्रेच खत्म हो जाएगा और टेंशन बढ़ जाएगी और फिर वो कहीं ना कहीं से टूट जाएगा। एग्जैक्टली सेम होता है हमारी बॉडी के अंदर। जब स्ट्रेस पड़ता है, टेंशन बढ़ता है, टेंशन पड़ने के बाद एक लिमिट तक मैनेज होता है एंड देन देयर इज एन इंजरी। ओके, वहीं पर अगर जब आप स्ट्रेच कर रहे हैं, अगर कोई चीज ऐसी आ जाए जो उसको इमीडिएटली वापस कॉन्ट्रैक्ट कर दे, तो ना वो टूटेगा ना इंजरी होगी। The same thing actually happens with our higher centers. The moment there is a tension, there is an elongativity or elasticity, the brain sends a message immediately and says immediate contraction चाहिए, ये limit के आगे जा रहा है extension. And the moment the message reaches, there is an immediate sudden contraction and you are able to manage the stress. So this actually creates or opens all the neural pathways on that particular site. ओके, एक प्रोग्रामिंग क्रिएट हो जाती है उस वक्त और हमारी जो न्यूरल लिंग्विस्टिक प्रोग्रामिंग है वो रिफ्रेश हो जाती है और वो जो सडन कॉन्ट्रैक्शन इलोंगेशन की जो स्कीम है वो वहां पर रजिस्टर हो जाती है। एंड दिस इज हाउ द प्लायोमेट्रिक्स एक्चुअली क्रिएट्स अ न्यू न्यूरोमस्कुलर programming, helping you to manage with all sorts of abrupt stresses and pressures. Just to give an example, one of my athletes had an ACL injury, and after the recovery, I trained him by the scheme of plyometrics, and the conditioning was being done, strengthening was being done, and the return to sport was being done. And because of the proper routine, he was able to manage with the stress, return to the play, and manage with the abrupt contact and pressures during the match. And the best point was, he himself said that I'm feeling much confident, much more better as an athlete performing on the field before the injury as well. तो वो इंजरी से पहले जिस लेवल पे था उससे बेटर पोजीशन में आ गया आफ्टर द इंजरी व्हेन ही वाज ट्रेन्ड ऑन plyometric routines. So this actually helps you to create a next level scheme within the body to manage with the abrupt pressures and stresses and contacts when you are actually into a very intensive and impulsive sport. Okay. The next point is it develops your abilities in other exercises and sport. Yes. So when we are actually playing a sport, when we are playing professionally, every player wants to improve and excel and scale up. Until the time you're improving, you're in the game. The moment you stop improving, you are out of the game. Okay. We'll take the questions after we finish the session. Okay. So keep your questions with you. All right. So okay. हमारे स्पोर्ट के अंदर हर तरीके की एक्टिविटी होती है, हर तरीके का स्पोर्ट होता है, लेकिन अगर हम उसमें इम्प्रूव नहीं करते हैं तो हमें हर बार अपॉर्चुनिटी मिले जरूरी नहीं है, बिकॉज स्पोर्ट इज समथिंग द टाइम द लिमिट till we are performing, we are in the game. The moment we are off form, we are off the game, right? And plyometrics is something which helps you to stay in the form, to stay with precision, and to excel your abilities, your skill. How? Plyometrics के रूटीन आपके बॉडी के अंदर ब्रेन बॉडी कोऑर्डिनेशन क्रिएट करते हैं. ओके. मसल कंडीशनिंग, मसल स्ट्रेंथ क्रिएट करते हैं, जो आपकी स्पीड, एजिलिटी, कंट्रोल और बैलेंस के ऊपर काम करता है, राइट? द मोमेंट यू आर वर्किंग ऑन दीज बैटरीज, दीज कंपोनेंट्स एंड कंपार्टमेंट्स डायरेक्टली, आपका स्किल लेवल आपके पर्टेनिंग स्पोर्ट के हिसाब से बढ़ता चला जाता है. This is how the professional players, they show precision. You've seen these EPL players delivering the ball exactly to the point where the ball is being needed. You've seen cricket players doing exactly what they are required to. The ball bounces at the correct point where they want. The steam works as per that, right? When you're in gymnast, you know how you have to manage with the body load, center of gravity, the flips, the core, how to use the efficient parts when you're in the air, when you're landing, right? So these trainings help you to create such precision and abilities to a next level when you want them to work. All right. These plyometrics are actually just amazing. Now, when we actually talk about these plyometrics, why exactly are we talking about plyometrics? Why exactly are we looking forward to these plyometric training? Okay. हमको ये पता चल गया plyometrics क्या है, हमको ये पता चल गया plyometrics कैसे है, हमको ये पता चल गया उसके फायदे क्या है, लेकिन क्यों ये फायदे, इसका फायदा ऐसा क्यों आता है, ये पता करना सबसे ज्यादा जरूरी है. Until the time we are not doing why, the entire context goes half, right? So why exactly? Okay, power is the outcome. Power is the outcome, but why exactly are we using plyometrics? The plyometrics actually gives us an opportunity to understand how the muscle chain activation works. Okay, let me get it real straight. कितनी बार आप लोगों ने ये एक्सपीरियंस किया है कि आप एक पर्टिकुलर स्पोर्ट में जब आप किसी भी एक्टिविटी को परफॉर्म करते हैं तो एक लिमिट के बाद आपकी पावर इंक्रीज नहीं होती, या एक लिमिट के बाद आप एक पर्टिकुलर एक्टिविटी के अंदर एफिशिएंसी क्रिएट नहीं कर पाते हैं. कितनी बार आपने एक्सपीरियंस किया है? टाइप यस इन द चैट बॉक्स इफ यू एक्सपीरियंस्ड दिस थिंग कि हमने कोशिश करी है और यार इससे आगे बढ़ नहीं रहा है, इस या एक पर्टिकुलर प्लेयर है, एक एथलीट है जिसमें आपको पता है कि ही इज जस्ट अमेजिंग, ही इज गॉट द बेस्ट टेक्निकल कैपेबिलिटीज एंड इससे आगे मैं पहुंच नहीं पा रहा हूँ. No, this is not at all called as plateau. Plateau is entirely different stuff. Okay, we'll talk about plateau later. So, या आप खुद कोचेस से बात करते हैं या अपने आपस में टीम में बात करते हैं और कहते हैं कि यार इसमें सिर्फ इतना ही है, इससे आगे ये नहीं जा सकता. हम कई बार ये बात सुनते हैं ना. यस, एब्सोल्युटली यस. सो ये क्यों होता है? इसका एक्चुअल one of the very dominant reason is that probably the muscle activation or the firing of muscle is not in the desired realized sequence. हमारा एक okay, let's take it as an example. Squats, everybody knows what squat is. Everybody knows how the squat is being performed, right? लेकिन एक पर्टिकुलर एफिशिएंसी के बाद स्क्वाट से हम पावर क्रिएट नहीं कर पाते. स्क्वाट से हम कई चीजों को डायग्नोस करते हैं, स्क्वाट से हम कई चीजों को असेस करते हैं, लेकिन असेसमेंट के बाद भी हम उसमें पावर नहीं क्रिएट कर पाते. क्यों? उसका रीजन ये है कि कोई एक पर्टिकुलर एक्टिविटी जब हमें परफॉर्म करनी होती है, उस दौरान उस परफॉर्मेंस के टाइम पर जो सीक्वेंस ऑफ मसल फायरिंग होना चाहिए, वो फायरिंग का सीक्वेंस कहीं ना कहीं मिस फायर हो रहा है. Suppose there are three muscles involved, 1, 2, and 3, and when the first muscle fires, there has to be a firing of the third muscle and then the second muscle. Okay, but what we are experiencing is first muscle fire कर गया, third muscle fire किया नहीं, second muscle पहले fire कर गया. Okay, again an example, football players. कितनी बार आपको लगता है when you punch a ball, you feel tightening in your low back, you feel tightening around the thigh, you feel tightening around the glutes. कितनों को ये एक्सपीरियंस हुआ है? टाइप यस इन द चैट बॉक्स. व्हेन यू एक्चुअली पंच अ बॉल हार्ड, कितनों को ये फील हुआ है कि मेरी ग्रॉइन खिंच जाएगी? कितनों को रनिंग के टाइम पर ये यू कैन सी yeses, amazing yeses. Why? Because these things actually happen when we are not managing with the muscle chain sequence activation. If the activation is not in a proper sequence, if the activation is not being fired in the realized sequence, these problems come up. Okay, so when we are actually training our athletes with these plyometric patterns, we are actually creating a muscle sequence activation on time. वो जो सीक्वेंसमेंट पे फायर करेगा, हम उसकी फायरिंग चेन को एक्टिवेट करते हैं. उसी को कहा जाता है मसल चेन एक्टिवेशन. ऑलराइट, सो आपका आईटी बैंड उस वक्त इन्वॉल्व होना चाहिए, कब आपके ग्लूट्स का सपोर्ट आना चाहिए, कब आपका कोर स्टेबलाइज होना चाहिए, कब आपका जो ग्लूट से जो है जो इनर्शिया ऑफ एक्शन लगना चाहिए. सो कहाँ पर कॉन्ट्रैक्शन होना है, कहाँ पर स्टेबलाइजेशन होना है, कहाँ पर इलोंगेशन होना है, इसी को मसल चेन एक्टिवेशन या फायरिंग कहते हैं. ऑलराइट, इनमें से एक भी अगर टाइम पर फायर नहीं हुआ या एक्टिवेट नहीं हुआ, the entire sequence goes off और उसी वजह से issues, tightness, backache या inconvenient irrational problems create होती है. Okay, तो उसमें गलती किसी की नहीं है, but the thing is that the muscle chain has to be realized in a proper schematic manner. तो हमें एक्टिवेट करना है, इसीलिए प्लायोमेट्रिक्स को हम यूज करते हैं, so that chain gets realized and activated on the proper required sequence. Okay, and that creates a precision effect and that creates the exact potential. That's not plateau, that's the actual activation of the muscle chain, the firing of muscle chain as we pertaining to the sport. Okay, so that actually creates. Plateau is entirely different. We'll come down to plateau in the end. All right. So this is why the plyometrics are being used. So we are training. We are actually working on the type 2 muscle fibers to achieve these results. Okay. How type 2 muscle fibers work? Metabolically, when we are working on them, we get periodic gush of energy, periodic energy packets, and as an explosive energies in small intervals to get the desired result. For an example, we are doing a squat jump. Okay, we go down, and the moment we go down, we immediately jump and land. So one, land with contraction, land with forefoot strike, or land flat footed. All three variations give a different effect. All right. So the entire thing carries a specific signal or a specific message with different chain of activation. Okay. इसमें variation आ जाता है for a further jump or a 90-degree switch or a level change. Variations कई सारे pertaining to the required muscle group we are training on or pertaining to the required sport we are looking forward to. We create a lot of variations, but this is how we actually work on. All right. Now let's proceed further. This was the benefit and why we actually use the plyometrics. So plyometrics training की बात होगी, why हो गया, benefit हो गया. Let me give you some examples of plyometric exercises. Okay. So depth jump is one of a very classic example of plyometric exercises. Second is squat jump. Okay, squat jumps as I just mentioned. Third is tuck jumps. Tuck jump is when you jump up and pull your knee up towards the chest. Okay. The next is plyometric push-ups. Plyometric push-up is the clap push-ups or the shoulder tap push-ups. Okay, there are plenty of variations of plyometric push-ups. Okay. The next is more to mention over here. So these are few of the very classic examples or names of the plyometric exercise. Okay, so these are few easy known things. And depth jump is one of my favorite, in which what we do is we are standing on a box, we suddenly drop, and after the dropping, either we can go forward for a vertical height or a horizontal height or a 90-degree or 180-degree switch or the axis change. So there are plenty of variations pertaining to the sport. If I'm working with a basketball player, I'll be using horizontal length. If I'm working with a striker or a goalkeeper, I'll use vertical jumps. I'll use certain time-oriented jumps, contact thrusts. So these are variations. So these are few of the examples. All right. Now, one thing which I'd like to mention at this time, the signal which we receive when we are actually performing these kind of activities or these exercises is something which we do not realize but is actually more towards relaxation. All right. If you remember, amortization की मैंने बात करी थी. Amortization वो था जो हमारे को transition का time decide करता है. उस टाइम पर अगर हमारा इलोंगेशन कॉन्ट्रैक्शन सही तरीके से हो जाता है तो मसल का रिलैक्सेशन बहुत बढ़िया. और जब हम रिलैक्सेशन की बात करते हैं तो रिकवरी अपने आप आ जाती है. रिलैक्सेशन होता है, रिकवरी प्रॉपर है, रिकवरी प्रॉपर है तो पोटेंशियल डेवलप रहेगा, पोटेंशियल डेवलप रहेगा तो मसल की क्वालिटी और कंडीशन प्रॉपर रहेगी. एंड व्हेन द क्वालिटी एंड कंडीशन इज बीइंग मेंटेन्ड, what we want is the player will be efficient throughout the game, and this is what we look forward to. So efficiency is something which we get 100% for sure after using the plyometric training. So to sum up with the entire thing, what we look forward to from the plyometrics is run faster, jump higher, kick harder, hit harder, and throw harder and proper. By these few words, I thank you all for being so patient, and I thank the inculcators, and I again thank Dr. Himanshu Sharma and Dr. Harsh sir for giving me such an opportunity to share my knowledge. And now I request if we have any questions, I'll be looking forward to answer.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very, very much for this much enlightening session, basically. And I think most of the queries has been resolved in between because you have explained so well. So I think there must be a little less queries. But if anybody has any query, they can ask.
So as somebody mentioned about plateau, so plateau is basically a response of a muscle which says that this pattern has created an adaptability, and the muscle or the particular scheme has become a part of the protocol, which we say it as the neural linguistic program. इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि हम एक दीवार को पुश कर रहे हैं, थोड़ी देर तक तो उस दीवार को पुश करने की कैपेसिटी बॉडी जनरेट कर पाएगी, पर एक टाइम के बाद आपको पता ही नहीं चलेगा कि आप पुश भी कर रहे हो कि नहीं कर रहे। तो उस तरीके का जब पोटेंशियल क्रिएट हो जाता है उसको प्लेटो कहते हैं। हम कोई एक स्कीम फॉलो कर रहे हैं, स्कीम फॉलो करते करते में बॉडी, वो स्कीम बॉडी का एक पार्ट हो जाता है, उसको प्लेटो कहा जाता है। इन अमोर्टाइजेशन आई गेस एक क्वेश्चन था, अमोर्टाइजेशन का शायद किसी ने क्वेश्चन रखा है सर, एक बार यू कैन सी द चैट। In amortization, there is short resting period. Once get that, in amortization, there is a short resting period. What is meaning of rest in this? Okay, so Rajat Jain has a question. He says amortization means the short resting period. See, the resting period is basically the time which is being consumed from the transition of the lengthening to the contraction. Okay. Let me take an example. Meaning, जब हम jump करते हैं, the moment we go down, when we are going down, we are creating an elongation. Okay, elongation कहाँ कहाँ create हो रहा है? हमारे ankle पे create हो रहा है at the TA, right? Then there is an elongation in our quads. Okay, the hams are getting relaxed so that we get a push jump. Okay, the moment we get a push jump, there is a shortening. तो elongation हुआ, elongation के बाद जब हम concentric phase में जाते हैं, तो जो time हमें eccentric से concentric में switch करने में लगता है, उसको amortization phase कहते हैं। तो it's not a rest kind of a static rest कि हम बस बैठ गए हैं या खड़े हो गए या stable हो गए हैं। It's the time frame which we use from a eccentric phase to a concentric phase. Lengthening से contraction में जब हम जाते हैं, तो वो जो टाइम लगता है उस लेंथनिंग से कॉन्ट्रैक्शन तक में जाने में, उसको अमोर्टाइजेशन। तो मसल के सिचुएशन में हम उसको रेस्ट इसलिए कहते हैं कि इलोंगेशन में स्ट्रेस बढ़ा है और जब कॉन्ट्रैक्शन में जा रहा है तो वो स्ट्रेस रिलीज हो रहा है। तो द मोमेंट द रिलीज इज बीन हैपनिंग, वी से दैट द मसल इज गेटिंग रिलैक्स्ड, राइट? So this is what is the rest time which we meant by this. I hope I was able to resolve this question. What is the history of plyometrics in Indian context? Indian context, plyometrics came into India quite late, but it was again inherited from the US patterns lately. So yes, it came to India, but quite late. Sir, after a long ACL injury, did you start with your athlete and was it post-op phase? Okay, this is a situation. Jitendra Munjal says, after how long after ACL injury did you start in an athlete, and was it a post-op case, and what type of plyometric exercises you started and its progression? Okay, so you want to know the entire scheme, the regime. All right, no problem. So what happened was there was a grade 2 tier, and we made it clear that because the player was into a very high intensity sport, so he was a pole vault jumper. तो पोल वॉल्ट जंपर जो था उसका लैंडिंग के टाइम पर जो नी ट्विस्ट हुआ था एंड ही गॉट एन एसीएल इंजरी. तो हमने कहा बिकॉज ही हैड टू प्ले प्रोफेशनल एंड ही वाज एन इंटरनेशनल लेवल प्लेयर, we asked him to get it operated. Post operation we started his rehab, and after 4 weeks we started with zero level plyometrics. That was a basic approach, and then we proceeded towards the grade 1 after 10 days. We tried to manage with the grade 1 till 2 weeks further. Then we added a variation, so we actually created a transition from grade 1 to grade 2, not immediate jump. तो grade 1 का progression हम लेके गए grade 2 में. तो उसमें क्या था, we were working on single planner, then we started working on biplanner. Okay, after we were able to manage with biplanner, we started with single leg. Okay, so पहले हम डबल लेग के साथ चल रहे थे, फिर हमने बाइप्लानर डबल लेग के साथ लिया, फिर हमने सिंगल लेग सिंगल प्लानर में किया, फिर हमने सिंगल लेग बाइप्लानर में किया. ठीक है. We use more of lengthening and contraction, but less of explosives till that. After we've achieved 4 weeks of training, then we started with our little bit of explosive. Explosives में हमने jerk contraction, sudden repulsive jump, और squat jump and stability, और dash jumps, इनको यूज किया था. ठीक है. इनको यूज करने के बाद में एक चीज जो मुझे बहुत अच्छी मिली थी वो ये थी कि सिंगल लेग स्टेबिलिटी पोस्ट 4 फुट स्ट्राइक बहुत अच्छी आने लगी थी, बिकॉज द एथलीट वाज एबल टू मैनेज विद द सेंटर ऑफ ग्रेविटी मोमेंट ही वाज लैंडिंग, and there was the deceleration awareness. So after the 4 weeks of transition from grade 1 and grade 2 and grade 2 to multi-planner, एक अवेयरनेस रिफ्लेक्स क्रिएट हो गया था उस मसल कंपार्टमेंट के अंदर और एक बॉडी के न्यूरल प्रोग्रामिंग के अंदर, दैट ही वाज एबल टू de-accelerate and he was able to manage with the load on his 4 foot strike. Even he's switching from one planner to other planner on a single leg transit, like 180-degree transit भी होता था, so he was able to manage with the 4 foot strike balance. ये हुआ था. Then we added on a bit of weights, although weights were pretty on a lower category. Like we started with 2 kgs and we proceeded till 8-10 kgs on waist and on the jacket. Here I would like to mention, if you're using ankle weights, you have to be very particular and very precise, because ankle weights used in an inadequate manner can recreate the injury. So please be very sure, and the setup should be very much specialized and supervised. तो ये चीज बहुत ध्यान रखिएगा अगर आप एंकल वेट्स की बात कर रहे हैं. ठीक है. 8 weeks post ACL. Okay, there are plenty of questions. Okay, let me finish with this and then we'll proceed to the next question. तो ये चीज था, और उसके बाद में we were able to proceed with the stress and जो impulsive intense landing था, jerk abrupt landing था, उस पे हम proceed करें, and then he was ready for the game play. So return to sport conditioning करने के बाद we gave him a clean sheet that he was able to manage and return to the coach. So this was the format which we took. ज़्यादा अगर डिटेल में आपको डिस्कस करना है, you can take my number and you can talk to me about it. और डिटेल में हम इस पे कॉल पे बात नहीं कर पाएंगे. You can take that. Let's proceed to the next question. I hope Jitendra, I've resolved bit of your query. बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर मैंने आपको एक्सप्लेन कर दिया है. उसमें प्रोटोकॉल्स कई सारे थे. वी कैन डिस्कस द प्रोटोकॉल्स ऑफलाइन, वरना करीब 1 घंटे की और कॉल एक्सटेंड हो जाएगी. राइट. So there is one more question. Can we do plyometrics training with age of 6 to 8 years of players? yes, grassroot is the best time when we can do the plyometrics training, because उस time पर we are working on their BMS, basic motor skills के ऊपर जब हम काम करते हैं, तो plyometrics अगर हम उस पे add कर दें, तो that can create hell lot of difference from the players on the higher ages. हम grassroot से एक pattern create करते हैं, तो उससे बहुत फर्क पड़ता है. But make sure when you are creating a plan, when you're creating a routine or a regime for the grassroots or such young players, you are very specific how and what all compartments you are dealing with, and they are able to manage with their motor skills pertaining to that skill set. ठीक है, क्योंकि इसमें क्या होता है, we are using our explosive power, we are using strength, we are using abrupt movements. So sometimes जो intensive movements होती हैं वो injuries भी create कर देती हैं. So you have to be very specific, or do not casually use plyometrics. Make sure that you are using a proper periodization scheme to use plyometrics. Right. So I remember one of my athletes. He was a football player, and I used a couple of plyometric regimes for him when he was at the age of 11, and I got good results. There was a 6-week long training with him, and there was a good control. So before putting him on the plyometrics, I worked on his basic motor skills, and then I made a transition from PMS to plyometrics. Okay, so it has to be gradual and very focused. So yes, you can do it, but be very cautious. Second, next question is, what is the criteria that decides particular activity is for slow twitch and fast twitch? मतलब कि अगर मुझे सिर्फ फास्ट ट्विच मसल फाइबर को ट्रेन करना है तो मैं कैसे आइसोलेट करूँ? ओके गाइस, फास्ट ट्विच मसल फाइबर पे जब आप काम करते हैं तो आपको इम्पल्सिव और पावर जनरेटेड एक्टिविटीज को इनकॉर्पोरेट करना पड़ेगा. जिस भी प्लायोमेट्रिक एक्टिविटी के अंदर आप एक्सप्लोसिव या एसएससी को ध्यान रख के बनाते हैं वो फास्ट ट्विच मसल फाइबर पे काम करेगा. ठीक है, जितना शॉर्ट टाइम आप कपलिंग इफेक्ट में क्रिएट करेंगे, जितना शॉर्ट स्ट्रेचिंग साइकिल होगा, उतना ही ज्यादा आप फास्ट ट्विच मसल फाइबर पे काम करेंगे. ओके, मतलब लेट मी टेक अ वेरी क्लियर एग्जांपल. स्क्वाट जंप है, ठीक है, स्क्वाट जंप है तो स्क्वाट जंप के अंदर हम बहुत एक्सप्लोसिव भी काम कर सकते हैं और हम एक स्लो पैटर्न में भी काम कर सकते हैं. तो जितना लंबा टाइम हम लेंगे हम स्लो ट्विच मसल फाइबर पे काम करेंगे, और जितना फास्ट या इम्पल्सिव काम करेंगे उतना हम फास्ट ट्विच मसल फाइबर्स पे काम करेंगे. ठीक है, सो लेट मी क्लियर गिव यू अ क्लियर एग्जांपल ऑफ स्लो ट्विच मसल फाइबर्स. सोलियस हमारा जो मसल है वो एक स्लो ट्विच मसल फाइबर. ठीक है, उसको उस पे जब हम काम करते हैं तो हमारा जो ट्रांजिशन का टाइम है वो लंबा टाइम. ठीक है, हमारा हील स्ट्राइक होता है, फुट प्लेसमेंट होता है, 4 फुट स्ट्राइक होता है, तो इट टेक्स अ लॉन्गर टाइम. while when we are working on a triceps, it's a quick impulse. मैं ट्राइसेप के साथ इमीडिएटली काम कर रहा हूँ. there's a immediate elongation and contraction, immediate elongation and contraction, right? तो जितना हम शॉर्ट साइकिल में काम करते हैं हम फास्ट ट्विच मसल पे काम करते हैं, लॉन्ग में काम करते हैं तो स्लो ट्विच में काम. Got it? Okay. So this is how you would be able to manage it. Next is, I don't think so. It is already existing but not documented. What do you mean by that? There are plenty of researches which are documented, and one of the best authorities, NSC, has documented a lot of activity in plyometric trainings and the SSC patterns, and they've got amazing results also. It's huge. They've even taken the weights to the extent of 25 kgs to train in plyometrics with their belt weights and jacket weights. So 25 kgs is a huge weight, right? So it is documented. And if you want, you can contact me. I can share a couple of journals also from BGSM and NSCA, and they clearly say that these things work a lot. Okay, from the history. History, I need to search. I can help you get the history. I can help you get the history. That's not a big problem. Okay. There's one more question from Ashutosh Gupta. Sir, can you please throw some light on type of muscle contractions What exactly do you want to know about muscle contraction? There's a fast twitch muscle contraction, there's a slow twitch muscle contraction, there's eccentric, there is load eccentric, there is continuation eccentric. So sometimes when we are managing with the stance, so if I take an example of a goalkeeper, he has to manage with the stance. So he is maintaining the eccentric, the elongation part for a longer period of time, right? And if we talk about wrestlers, they have to manage a low bending position. So they manage with the elongation for a longer period of time. So contractions are pretty delayed in that situation, right? Uh, if you talk about cricket players, they have to manage with the stance. So there is a counterbalance. कुछ parts में elongation maintain रहती है, कुछ part में contractions maintain रहती है. Uh, upper body के अंदर contractions maintain रहती है, lower body के elongations maintain रहती है. So this is contextual based, pertaining to the sport, pertaining to the activity you are into. So muscle contractions can be managed as per that. Let's proceed further. Vincent has a question: when we can use plyometrics, whether on preparation period or competition period? Good question. This is something which I was looking forward to. Preparation period, yes, that's the perfect time. When we are looking forward for a competition phase, plyometrics से ज़्यादा हम strengthening के ऊपर उस time पर काम करते हैं, because we need to maintain with the strength and the potential of the muscle group, right? So plyometrics pre-season हम बहुत अच्छे से काम करते हैं. Plyometrics just before the season जो हमारा transition होता है pre to in season, उस time तक हम चला सकते हैं, ठीक है. But in season, I would recommend more than the plyometric. If your player is, or if your sport is more injury prone, then we can create a combination of less periodized, or we can create an alternate on one sport or the goal we are looking forward to. But on a generalized way, I would say pre-season and transition from pre to in season is the best time to use plyometrics. That actually gives you the reflex capacity of your body, right? That's the best time. किसी से मसल फाइबर्स, जब हम जंप एक्सप्लोसिव इंपल्स पे काम कर रहे हैं, तो जब हम फाइबर्स, और टाइप 2 मसल फाइबर कौन सा है? फास्ट ट्विचिंग मसल फाइबर. जब हम फास्ट ट्विचिंग मसल फाइबर पे काम कर रहे हैं, तो हमारा कपलिंग इफेक्ट जो है, तो ईसेंट्रिक टू कॉन्सेंट्रिक है, उसमें अमोर्टाइजेशन बहुत छोटा रखेंगे. स्टार्ट विद बेसिक्स, ठीक है, जिसमें कि हम रिपल्सिव
Hello, Himanshu sir. I think you're not audible, sir. Hello.